All right, today we're going to zoom all the way in, deep into the microscopic world inside your cells. We're on the hunt for a single molecule that, believe it or not, acts like a brilliant, intelligent switch, basically managing your body's entire energy budget.
It kind of sounds like the start of a bad joke, right? I mean, on one hand, you've got this state of total abundance, your body is just flooded with fuel, and on the other, you've got a state of scarcity where you're actively burning through everything you've got. So what on earth is the connection?
Well, the way your body handles both of these completely opposite situations, we're talking feasting versus fasting, it all comes down to the choice made by one single pivotal molecule. And that molecule, that's the star of our show today. And its name is pyruvate. Now, I want you to think of it less like just some random substance and more like a decision maker. It's standing right at the most important intersection of your body's energy highway. So what exactly is this stuff? Well, every time you eat carbs, your body breaks them down into glucose. And the end product of that first breakdown step? You guessed it, that's pyruvate. It's the central hub, kind of like the grand central station of your entire metabolism. Let's really lean into that traffic controller idea. Picture pyruvate standing there, right at this busy intersection. It's looking at the flow of traffic, the energy supply and demand, and it's gotta direct things. It has to decide, do we burn this fuel right now for immediate power, or do we need to switch gears and actually start making new fuel? Its decision changes absolutely everything. So let's check out its first big decision. This is what happens when you're in what we call the well-fed state. Let's see which road pyruvate takes when, times are good and fuel is everywhere. You've just demolished that big pasta dinner we talked about. Your bloodstream is just packed with glucose from all those carbs. Your cells are basically screaming, we've got plenty of energy to work with here. So what does our little traffic controller do? It waves traffic straight ahead, right onto the energy superhighway. Pyruvate gets quickly converted into another molecule called acetyl-CoA. This acetyl-CoA then dives headfirst into what's known as the TCA cycle. You can think of that as your cell's main furnace. And it just cranks out a massive amount of energy. This is your body's #1 high-efficiency power route. And if there's a little extra pyruvate hanging around, there's even a side route it can take. Some of it gets diverted down a little side street and is used as a building block to create a non-essential amino acid called alanine. So see? It's not just about burning fuel, it can also be about making new materials. Okay, but what happens when the whole situation is flipped on its head? Let's talk about the complete opposite scenario, the path of scarcity. This is what happens when you're fasting or you're deep into a workout. Right, so that pasta dinner is now a distant memory. You're either between meals or you're on that long run. Your body has burned through most of the easy-to-get glucose. The fuel light is officially on. Our traffic controller, pyruvate, sees this and knows it's time for a totally different strategy. Now, instead of being broken down for energy, pyruvate is sent down a completely different road. It gets converted into something called oxaloacetate. Now, this is the critical first step in a process called gluconeogenesis. And that fancy word literally just means creating new glucose. Your body is now using pyruvate to make the very fuel it's running low on. How cool is that? Okay, and this is the brilliant question that should be popping into your head right about now. If the whole point is that we're low on glucose, and pyruvate comes from glucose, then where are we getting the pyruvate in the first place? It feels like a paradox, but don't worry, your body has an incredibly clever backup plan. Your body just opens up its backup fuel lines. During exercise or fasting, your muscles release two key things into your bloodstream, lactate and, get this, alanine, that very same amino acid we saw it building earlier. These molecules travel to the liver, which acts like a recycling plant, and it converts them right back into the pyruvate you need to make fresh glucose. It is a stunning example of just how resourceful your body is. So, we've seen two very different scenarios, leading to two completely different outcomes. Now, let's put it all together and really appreciate the genius of your body's smart switch in action. So here's the bottom line. It all comes down to the goal of the system in that moment. On the left, when you're well-fed, the goal is simple. Use the tons of fuel you just ate. So pyruvate heads to the TCA cycle. But on the right, when you're fasting, the goal is survival and stability. Create new fuel from your reserves to keep your body, and especially your brain, powered up. So pyruvate gets used for gluconeogenesis. Let's just break it down one last time, crystal clear. In the well-fed state, the mission is energy production, so pyruvate's fate is to become acetyl-CoA. In the fasting or exercise state, the mission is new glucose synthesis, so its fate is to become oxaloacetate. It's just a beautiful, elegant two-track system. And this is the most important thing to remember. This isn't random. Your body isn't just flipping a coin. This is a highly regulated, unbelievably intelligent system that has evolved to make sure you have the energy you need, whether you just ate a giant feast or you're running a marathon. It's all about managing that energy budget with absolute precision.
And what we've been describing this whole time, this incredible process, actually has a name. It's called metabolic flexibility. It is truly one of your body's most amazing superpowers, this ability to just seamlessly switch between burning carbs for fuel and creating new fuel from other sources. It's what allows us to adapt and thrive in any situation.
So as we wrap this up, I'm just going to leave you with this thought. Every single meal you eat, every workout you do, you are literally giving instructions to this elegant system. You are influencing which path pyruvate takes. Knowing that this smart switch exists inside you, well, it really makes you think about the signals you're sending it every single day, doesn't it?